Hello and welcome to Zelda Speedruns. Today we're pleased to bring you another Link to the Past Randomizer Crosskeys Tournament match. It is getting close to the end of the tournament. We are in Losers Bracket Round 8, Game 1 for zelgadissan versus tstew. And I am joined today on commentary by Dazed Clouds and Clear Mouse. And how you doing today?
Oh, doing great over here. How you been, Nori?
Good. And glad you're doing well. And I'm just going to mute and send them off so we can get started. So thank you very much, and I will talk to you later.
Yeah, thanks for getting up so early to come this match with me, Dazed Cloud.
Not a problem there, Clear Mouse. It's always good to get these guys off and running here. I mean, these guys have been running now for just weeks and weeks and weeks of this. This is round 8, game 1 of a 3-game match between these two and they have knocked off pretty much everybody else. We're down to our 15-second countdown, so we should get going in just a second here. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you certainly had your fair share of experiences facing these runners, correct? At least one of them.
Yeah, yep. Zelda is the one who knocked me out of this tournament here, so we're gonna, I want to see him go far. This is far enough if he wants to, but it's up to him.
Oh no, Zelda is definitely a very strong contender, certainly for this tournament. And in fact, actually, fun fact: tstew and Zelda also were in the spoiler log tournament that also kind of launched around the same time of this tournament. And Zelda certainly made it even to, I think, top 4. He got 3rd place, so certainly a very strong player here.
And it looks like we are off. We're getting 2 separate starts here. Tstew's starting off in Sanctuary there, picking up 3 bombs, getting a nice early start there. With a Sanctuary being a Kakariko, he can drop right down into the escape sequence and pick up, well, whatever's back here.
Yeah, a really fortunate bomb pickup there too, right? Because if you drop down, you definitely may not necessarily get this. Oh, wow, what a haul! Ether and the mirror.
Wow, that might okay, now early mirror is quite possibly my favorite thing to find in a Crosskeys race here, because if you get that early mirror, that can just open up the entire world to you. So it can be both extremely good and extremely bad at the same time here, as it looks like Zelda has walked into finding K45 there with a small key to Thieves Town at the Witch's Hut.
That is one of my favorite small keys to find early. You don't have to worry anything about Thieves Town, and chances are, if you get in there with the hammer, you can just open that maybe right up.
Now, it looks like tstew's going to set up for the same Houlihan room strat here that Zelda just used, as we've unfortunately found the junk fairy there sitting at the at its vanilla location.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is one spot, I guess, that chose not to move since today's seed.
Yeah, that's just sitting there, not really doing anything of use to anyone here. Zelga's picking up his 225 rupees. I believe I'm saying that right.
It is 225. That is correct.
I'm trying to remember. It's 7 a.m. So still trying to wake up over here.
Yeah, I mean, what better way to wake up than with a Crosskeys match?
Yeah, if your brain's not going to be working by the end of this, it's never going to be working here. These are difficult matches to play and difficult matches to do, as we're getting a tree pull there. That's tier 1 looks like bombs, so it looks like we're not going to have too much trouble there. And that's Magic Bat sitting at the Hyrule Castle drop.
See Zelda employing a different set of bomb strats for these guards here, trying to get a couple more for himself.
Totally understandable there, with the full getting there with 8 bombs. That's going to pretty well set him up for a little early.
Not quite enough bombs, though, to take care of some ball and chain guards, unfortunately. But honestly, I don't think anyone really wants to face these guys without a permanent weapon.
Yeah, that's not a great place for Agatower to show up.
So he's just going to kind of be retracing Zelda's steps here. Going to get his good news about the tier 1 tree pull. Going to also find out about Magic Bat, and maybe end up getting some more resources before heading out.
Zelga's going to go ahead and he's going to pick up his mirror and his ether medallion and a key to pod there. Tstew is going to get himself walloped by some blue guards there to pick up a couple more bombs, but, you know, it's all going to work out in the end for him.
Yeah, good thing these guys have so much health attached to them at early game, right?
Well, yeah, with 3 hearts green mail, that's all you need for quite a while there, and that mushroom spot is lovely. That's a nice 300 rupees, so that's going to set our runners up for pretty much most of the game there, at least in the early going.
Yeah, it's certainly no glove or flippers to kind of put Zora on logic, but I mean, to have Zora money this early is always just really nice. You don't have to worry about anything else.
Definitely. I mean, once you get to about 600 rupees there, you're not going to worry too much for the rest of the seed. Alright, we're going to move our way over here and start checking what is behind our...
Well, speaking of Aga Tower being discovered so early, you know, we're gonna need a couple more ice rod small keys today.
Yeah, that does kind of mean we're gonna be dealing with that for quite a while now. That's kind of a shame right there. Well, but looks like our runners are gonna have their work cut out for them there. It's not really a crisis, but it does mean we get to see the most exciting part of Crosskeys, the Aga climb today, where nothing ever changes, but
well, you know, at least for Crosskeys, there is a lot more variation for the type of equipment that you have once you come up to some more familiar rooms. So maybe it'll be interesting because maybe they only will have the bow, let's say, to work with.
Yeah, I mean, the one good thing here is that you can count on that the 2 chests in Aga Tower there are going to be something completely different. So we're going to have to see exactly how the runners want to game plan having to do that there, because Aga is kind of often a place where it's not exactly the easiest to get to. It's not difficult, but it's not really easy to route back in. You're going to have to decide to go for it. So I wouldn't be surprised to see both of these runners kind of wait until they have 2 castle tower keys to go for it.
Yeah, of course, what would be, a great sense of humor, maybe, quote unquote, from the game is that they put the second castle tower small key in its vanilla location.
I've seen it, and that's just brutal when it happens.
Of course, we would never wish that kind of luck on our runners today, of course.
Zelga deciding there, he found the upgrade fairy there sitting right there in Kakariko, deciding to go ahead and pick up the additional bomb drop there. I would agree completely with that play, and he drops in to find the well in its vanilla location just as well. So, gonna pick up his 5 items here and see if we get anything actually useful. So far, no. Okay, we get a key there, at least. Fire rod, okay, that's good.
Yeah, now all he has to do is kind of stumble upon Super Bunny Cave, and we can use that fire rod to our desire.
Yeah, and we're gonna need a little bit of magic there at some point as well. So this is kind of a good thing so far, as we're picking up all of our things through the rest of the way here.
Yeah, actually, speaking of picking up magic, all of these shops, right, in the vanilla game, they only sell red potions. There's actually no other convenient real source of magic other than the potion shop itself.
Right, and that's one of those things where you kind of have to use your game knowledge to figure out where you can pick up magic early. Like, one of the easiest places is if you get into the Uncle Drop, you can get it there. Hyrule Castle does have some small magic containers in it, but they're not the easiest ones to get to.
Yeah, they're pretty kind of far. They're farther into the castle itself, right?
Right, yeah, that's kind of the key there. Now, Zelda has jumped into a dark connector there, tried to figure out exactly which one it is. I couldn't 100% tell there without the, I'm not using Zelga's sound there, so I can't exactly see which one it was.
Well, hopefully Zelda will know which one it was.
Yeah, that's the more important thing, is if he knows what the heck's going on. I can stand here to be surprised, but... Alright, get a C-shaped house over here, as tstew right now is just kind of wandering basically about, 5 seconds behind Zelda here, as far as checking all of the rest of his items. Finds Sick Kid in the front of the tavern location there. Ooh, and Hype Cave.
Yeah, these guys are finding all sorts of great one-off visit early locations.
Alright, and we're going to find more pod keys there in Hype Cave, and Bombo's medallion and a bug net, so that's some interesting stuff already. Now that's 2 Ice Palace keys already.
Yeah, 2 Ice Palace keys, 2 pod keys. Certainly more implications for Ice Palace, certainly just because there are not as many Ice Palace pod keys as there are pod keys.
Ooh, tstew getting a little unlucky there with his guard kills. They're kind of aggroed the first guard a little early, but not going to matter there as he picks up flippers out of the only chest in Logic so far in this section. That's a nice early find there. Kind of curious to see. I assume Zelga's going to run back for that, but there's a chance that he decides not to do that at the moment, because on the other hand, he's found the Uncle Drop on this, so he's going to have a little bit of magic for his Fire Rod.
Blacksmith today is one of our Turtle Rock entrances.
That is not the super fun entrance.
Is there an entrance that you consider to be super fun in Turtle Rock?
Yeah. Give me Laser Bridge any day of the week right there. I get very excited when I see Laser Bridge, but not so much when I see the eyes here. Because if I'm not paying attention there, they're gonna one-shot you, and then you're just not gonna feel too good about your decision.
Very fortunate sequencing of events here. Zelda, managed to find Uncle to get just enough magic to kind of get through to defeat the Pokies to get the lava chest here. Unfortunately, just 5 rupees. But I mean, very, very cleanly done for those rooms. That is not easy to do.
Yeah, he's going to be rewarded there with a full magic decanter there, so he's going to have everything he needs. tstew, on the other hand, went through all of Hyrule Castle there. He picked up the GT Big Key locked behind the Hyrule Castle Small Key. Now, hopefully, he can do something better than what I did yesterday when I was playing Crosskeys, and remember to keep that in logic. Don't go ahead and climb the tower until you get the Hyrule Castle Small Key.
So you have personal experience for better routing decisions.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've made every dumb mistake in this game. Alright, it looks like tstew's gonna be very happy here in a second as he walks into Hype Cave, picks up a couple of interesting items here. Zelga's gonna go down to the south of area and find, unfortunately, the other entrance to Bumper Cave. That's not a huge... That's gonna be kind of disappointing for him, but we find GT, which is much more exciting.
Yeah, speaking of GT Big Key, that could actually end up opening up quite a bit of stuff later on.
Well, we find a different big key here to Ice Palace, so now we have all of the big keys to all of the keys to Ice Palace, and a sword,
and a Fire Rod.
You
think so for your expert routing opinion, what do you think we should do when we stumble upon Ice Palace as a location?
Well, pray that you have a hammer and a glove at that point, because if you don't, you're going to be sitting there going, wait a minute, you want me to do this, but I can't, and then I'm going to feel really bad. So, no, unfortunately, I didn't see what that was on Race Game. Did you get a look at that?
I think I glimpsed a map, but it was admittedly pretty quick.
Alright, well then in that case we're going to consider that as not something of interest, because I don't think either runner is going to be going, ooh, I really, really want to go get that map.
Hey, speaking of funny Blue Badger shenanigans, we have stumbled upon the Dark World with the mirror. Zelda might make a couple trips here once or twice.
Yeah, that's going to make some interesting things there. Now, one of our trackers there, Siriu, bringing up a good point here that, yeah, Sword and Fire Rod, it does make you think back of Skull Woods a little bit there. It's one of those things where, again, you're probably going to do that the moment that you can, but at the same time, keeping it in logic isn't a terrible idea there. Because you technically, to beat Mothula, that's one of those things you're going to be looking for 3 Skull Woods keys, or at least two Skull Woods keys that are out in the open, because the third one's always in Skull Woods.
Yeah, certainly taking key logic into consideration is, I'm sure, both these ones are very aware of. I am personally curious if Zelda is brave enough to kind of fight off on 3-heart green mail, Fire Rod.
And what was the Ice Rod actually doing in the Ice Rod cave? Come on,
in the vanilla location up in Hyrule Castle.
What is going on here? That's just silly. All right, now Zelga's going to take that second here. He's actually got a pretty good time to actually jump into at least check this first chest at Aga Tower, since that one connector spit him right on top there and gets a single rupee for his reward. Oh God, game.
At least it was fast, right? I mean, he didn't have to come all the way out here, purposely trying to see what that first chest is, and then, kind of get the single rupee news.
That's just one of those times where I just go, game, you're dumb. All right, tstew.
Yeah, back in, well, for him, it's the first time in GT. He can't really do much with that GT big key. Doesn't really have much else, but he will be happy to get his big key to Ice Palace and his first sword.
I mean, if he was a complete madman, he could mimic clip and go climb for the two chests at the top. But yeah, that would be dumb.
That would perhaps not be on his highest in terms of priority.
Yeah, that would be one of those to really hurt you for later there. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, meanwhile, Zelda did find one entrance to Hookshot Cave in the bomb shop near Highlight Island. Oh, and oh my gosh, speaking of Waterfall Fairy, in the other... Oh, Zelda, that was a fortune teller. In the bomb shop itself, we found a bow.
Yeah, no, he's gonna take that bow, and he's gonna be very, very, very excited about it. And we're gonna go play some more connector shenanigans, which probably makes sense with having this early mirror. You kind of want to check out these places as quickly as you can. So where does this sucker lead? That's not helpful.
Nothing we can actually do without a pearl and the hammer, unfortunately. Alright, well, meanwhile, tstew has decided to take a slight divergence from Zelda's Dark World hopping to, looks like he's going to look at the Pod Eastern area.
Yeah, that's not great there. So it looks like Zelga's going to go ahead and he's going to take himself back all the way into Hyrule Castle here. He's going to go pick up his flippers, pick up his Out of Logic GT big key, and probably go all the way to Zelda's cell.
I can't believe you were the first one I've ever heard make that mistake.
Yes, I'm ashamed. I'm going to go back to bed.
Oh yeah, and actually, Zelda here for that one difference that you're postulating about him going all the way to Dark Cross is that he actually has the lamp that he picked up alongside with that bow, so he won't have any Dark Room problems today.
Yeah, make him pretty easy for him to get all the way back there now. Now tstew's gonna. Okay, yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, he's making a decision here, and then I realized, right, he has the mirror, so this will actually work out for him. I thought he was going to go back to Kiki for a second. I'm like, you're a bunny, that doesn't work.
I can't believe Kiki doesn't play well with others.
Oh, but here's a decision.
Oh, man! Yeah, speaking of what we were just talking about, 5 minutes ago? Is that, well, tstew does have the fire rod, he does have magic, he has a sword.
But There's one thing he is missing.
Oh,
He's
but he
missing a
does not have
small key.
It says.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that one locked door there means that he can't actually go back there. So he's going to have to nope out and kind of go on and do some other things there. But he's being really economical with his checks here. This mirror just allows you to get so much done so quickly. This early mirror is one of my favorite things to find. It's also maybe one of the things that makes finding the pearl occasionally really difficult. As we got a Hotel Mario % done over on tstew's side, so he moves on to the second game here, and we'll see you guys all on Wednesday.
You might. Did anyone inform Zelda that?
Oh, I probably should have talked about that beforehand.
Okay.
But, okay, never mind.
It.
Ooh, that's a big key to Desert Palace there, sitting in Dark Cross over on Zelga's side there. That's one thing tstew's going to have to remember to come back later. And Zelga's going to go ahead. He's going to check the rest of these connectors here. So we're starting to get a little bit of a divergence from both of these runners here at about the 20-minute mark. And Zelga is locked out. That's not a happy one right there.
It does give him at least one opportunity to look like he will potentially go to the Eastern Palace area. Or maybe he'll take those flippers and explore some of Lake Hylia.
It's one of those times where he'd really, really love an extra 50 rupees here. So instead, he's gonna... okay, we got a little hiccup there. It looks like he's going back into Hookshot Cave there to do something.
Looks like we're buffering our way through Hookshot Cave here. Maybe back to Kakariko to get something.
I wonder if this is just, I really, really want to see what that other... I really, really want to see what that other connector is in Hyrule Castle. That kind of seems like what he's doing there. Alright, yep. We're going to go to the right. We're going to go to the left door for Hyrule Castle, figure out exactly where this sucker is. And we are up on the Turtle Rock Ledge here, so that is a nice, interesting place to be with that mirror. And we're going to find, well, Mimic Cave is just a shop, but we've got a lot of things that's going to give us the chance to check up here.
Yeah, meanwhile, tstew is kind of following Zelda's footsteps right along Hyrule's castle. Got his unfortunate 1 rupee news from Aga Tower first chest, and then ended up, I think, checking the bottom as well. Saving quitting, it looks like he's going to probably take advantage of either going to Hookshot Cave or going to take this one.
Oh, looks like, and on Zelga's side there, we've got a little bit of we got a Sasharala there up on the left Turtle Rock kind of entrance here. So that's not the most lovely place for that, but it did give us the information that the green pendant today is going to be Desert Palace. So that Desert Palace big key, not something that we're going to be super excited to see, as we've got Laser Bridge over on Zelga's side.
Yeah, speaking of really fun, happy locations and a good find for Zelda, pulling out the Master Sword. Really, really nice damage output this early in the game.
Yeah, damage output plus there a cape, so that one entrance that we left on top of the mountain there is no longer by itself. Now we can actually get into it here whenever we want. Heart container as well for Zelga there, so he's actually got himself a little bit of a health refill there. He's now up to a grand total of 4 hearts.
Yes. Yeah, 33% increase there. Meanwhile, tstew decides to visit Hobo today, giving us another 20 rupee check. He is just 6 rupees short of paying off some fish debt.
All right, so we're finding out that the one dark connector that we had found in the Kakariko area was actually the connector to the Dark Descent Cave connector, and it spits you out on Graveyard Ledge. So that is very not useful.
It's useful in that we know that we don't have to worry about Graveyard Ledge here going in the front way.
Now, tstew on the other side has found ourselves a ice palace, and he has jumped directly into this, and I kind of completely understand why.
Is it perhaps because he found 2 Ice Palace small keys and the Ice Palace big key, and he has a fire rod?
Yeah, I mean, it's a terrible kind of terrible way to kind of go into it. But
indescribable terribleness that we have to come here, and yeah, tstew's actually only still on 3 hearts. He did not find that health bonanza that Zelda has to get himself to 4.
Yeah, so unfortunately, he's not going to have there's not going to be a really good way to do a whole lot of this. Like, he's going to have to be extremely careful here. He's going to get like 1 shot at doing well, I guess he's not even going to do bomb jump, probably, because without having a sword, not a sword, but a hammer and a glove, it's kind of silly to do the bomb jump. But he's got to be careful here, because any of these shadow enemies will one-shot him at this point.
Yeah, given he's already, and there are lots of things that won't necessarily one-shot him, but will in fact chip away quite a bit of his health. Spikes, Baris, these guys also hurt a lot.
Yeah, he's not even going to play around with these pen gators. He's just taking out bombos and is just going to fry them, which completely understandable.
This is one of the actually unwritten, I guess, requirements to use a medallion is that he has to have a sword. I mean, that was a really good thing that he actually found that earlier. Otherwise, even though he had bombos, he couldn't use it if he didn't have the sword.
Right, he's going to be able to pick up this 1 chest over here, but it's going to be at a 2-heart disadvantage to him. Oh, but he gets 1 back there, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah, that would have been so sweet if it was a Sank heart. He would have had a full heart refill.
That's at one time where you really hope that that's what you get here. Alright, so we're going to go around this way here, and he's going to deal with one of the most difficult enemies in the game. They're Ice Physics plus Stairs. And we get the Quake medallion out of it, so yay. And the big chest, they're just holding a Misery Mire small key, so this is starting to feel a little bit like bait.
Oh, but it's so early, and you have so much for it. It's quite difficult to resist.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is bait, but it's delicious bait.
So, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate for tstew, too. Just with another set of sequencing, right, Zelda ended up picking up the cake, which I'm sure he also would be pretty happy with here at Ice Palace.
Yeah, unfortunately, tstew getting a whole fat lot of nothing out of that there. Now, Zelga's about to head to the exact same location there. I wonder if he's going to make a different decision.
Well, at least the good news is that, assuming Zelda does also die at Ice Palace, both our runners will have all 3 medallions. So when we eventually end up going to Turtle Rock and Mire area, they won't have to worry about leaving kind of like that entrance ornament.
Yeah, and the thing is if tstew comes back here, and especially not coming back with a cane there, he can icebreaker the right side, pick up those other 2 chests that he's missing, and then go directly to Cold Stare there. So I mean, while it's not great that he went in there and found nothing, he did knock off a good chunk of checks there already. So Zora's gonna today give him a big key to something. That's a big key to Swamp Palace, which I mean, you'd like to have it. But
Yeah, it certainly can save you a fetch quest later. It's not one of the most inconvenient big key fetch quests. For example, like we already picked that one up. That would considered to be Big Key Vice Palace.
But yeah, kind of deciding, you know what, give me that blue mail. I'm on 4 hearts. Come on, give it to me, please, please, please. And it looks like Zelga's making that same decision here. I don't blame him.
Yeah, that blue mail would have been nice for Ice Palace that tstew was just in about 3 minutes ago.
I mean, but that kind of shows you the caliber of runners that we're dealing with here. tstew's going in there with Fighter Sword, 3 hearts, and green mail, and I didn't have a problem. Alright, and tstew's using the whirlpools there to kind of go ahead and jump down to the southeast side of Hyrule here, down to the Ice Rod Cave area there. That's one of those kind of underrated routing decisions that a lot of runners can make there, a more experienced runner, because you can just jump directly in there from the area, from basically right next to the sanctuary. Give yourself a much bigger advantage there. Kind of unfortunate that he's got no glove, but he does find where that's not an amazing place to find the old man.
Yeah, old man, and I believe from the bottom shop over there, which is certainly inconvenient. But maybe because there's an old man save point here, it's not going to be as bad to get back to.
Yeah, that makes the glove not so much of an issue. And well, that's a location. As Zelga's now up on the top of Turtle Rock here, on the top of Death Mountain here, has found himself a... This is actually one of the best things that kind of could have happened to him here, as he's now able to check basically all of Death Mountain. That's a red ruby on the top of
that is
floating
correct.
island?
Yes, I don't believe either of our runners are going to go back to there.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Now, assuming he can do a little bit of Lionel dodging here, now he's going to be able to check basically everything over there. So this is going to be kind of a happy time for him.
It looks like going to do the light world side first.
Oh, it makes sense. This is the more important side anyway. And he's going to get a big key out of Cave 45 there.
Tower? Cave Tower of Hera.
Yeah, that's a happy thing right there. That's Tower of Hera. So we don't necessarily need to do Herapot today. Probably will anyway, just because it's faster. But
yeah, we would certainly really like to be able to find that hook shot very soon. Yes.
Well, we'll see here as we find the brewery over here, and that's this glove.
Yeah, that is a really nice pickup for Zelda. And in fact, when he eventually goes over and visits the Ice Rock Cave location, like he won't have to isolate that rock that tstew in this case has.
You know, what's more kind of interesting to me is Zelga's kind of getting, I'd almost say, a little bit lucky with with his route here on the mountain here. He's going to be able to kind of do this in the minimum of checks. He hasn't run into the old man. As soon as I say that, Eastern Palace appears to say, "Hey, are you interested?"
These guys do have a bow, so certainly can make a little bit of progress.
Yeah, that's one of those things there. It's not a great location. That's not easy to get back to. So he's probably... I kind of feel like I would do that after I check everything else on the mountain there, just in case you ran into Eastern Palace Big Key up here.
Yeah, especially given that we know from tstew's side that Eastern Palace is one of our 5-6 crystals. There's probably just more incentive to try and get as much as you can out of this thing.
Alright, and tstew is actually just right behind Zelga here. He's found the connector that he needed there in, I want to say that was Mini Moldorm Cave that led him up here. He's gonna, decide to jump down the center side of the right East Death Mountain here, check out a couple of things that Zelda hasn't. He found the King's Tomb, and that's just going to give him it's going to give him 5 hearts, so he's got one thing up on Zelda, as Zelda's going to have to be a bit careful.
Yeah, that's not quite where you want to be on Death Mountain with only 2 working hearts. I'm surprised that Zelda did not want to buy a heart from the shop. Certainly not often seen, but these cabbages are nice.
Well, he makes it through there without too much problem. He's got the mirror portal, which will make it a little bit easier for him to get around here. It's just so much safer to bunny walk through here than it is to go the other way.
He's still finding his laser bridge entrance. Picked up, I think, enough heart pieces over Zelda to get himself another heart container.
Yeah, he's got himself a full 6 right now, so he should be able to complete the game without any issue.
Yeah, no problem. Master Sword, Blue Mail, 6 hearts. We're all good to go.
Yeah, I've done it. I don't think I was happy about it, but I've done it.
So as long as you had a win, I think it's all worth it in the end.
Yeah, that's what it comes up to. And we got another big key. That's to Eastern Palace. So Zelda looks like an absolute wizard here. So he's going to be able to just mirror out as moment he checks this torch and run back to Eastern Palace.
Yeah, I did hear that attorneys are pretty well educated.
I mean, that's why you didn't jump into Eastern Palace right away there. I mean, oh my god, really?
So our keys today have taken on a more open randomness today.
Well,
I guess you won't have to be safe scumming or trying to find the backup desert and stealing that key. Oh my gosh! Speaking of what a nice right side desert has, we pick up the King of Samara. So now actually, Zelda also didn't dive Ice Palace earlier either, right? So he can just do Icebreaker the first time around.
Yeah, well, I mean, that only gets him 1 chest until he gets the gloves anyway, but not gloves, but hammer. Well, hammer and gloves, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, no, so we're going right back to Eastern Palace. tstew is going to be on his way to get over here. Now, hopefully for his sake, he doesn't go into Eastern first. It's really tempting to go into Eastern first, though, so we'll see what he does. But it looks like Zelga's going to get our first dungeon completed here. He's going to get the full 6 checks out of Eastern to go with this dungeon completion. This is just working out great for him. Hopefully tstew gets the same sort of chance.
Yeah, certainly this is a very fortunate turn of events for Zelda, especially in the early game, but Crosskeys certainly has very high variance. I've definitely seen lots of matches where one player takes a seemingly very early and far lead, but kind of things even out at the end.
Yeah, I mean, Crosskeys is hilarious for, everybody does completely different things, and then both runners finish around 10 minutes. As we start off with a book. So, gonna go up and check Ether tablet after this.
It's so convenient, and the fact that they have the Master Sword means that they actually can pick up the item instead of just checking to see what it is.
Just, man, when things just kind of go up and no, tstew did not. tstew's getting sucked in here, unfortunately. I mean, to be honest, there's probably a pretty good chance I would have done the exact same thing as tstew, just because it's just so tempting and it's in such a bad location. So yeah. You're gonna jump into it and go, okay, I'm gonna do this now, because what's the chances that my big key is literally about 3 doors away from here?
Speaking of games with senses of humor, so we do find a vanilla other bow, I guess, in this case. Well, Armos should be even better, smaller, tastier piece of cake.
Yeah, Norton, I'm going to have to ask Nori to please report to the stream. We have some questions about what the heck she just rolled for these guys. Well, so Zelga's going to have just a piece of cake through here. This is going to be not particularly hard.
Yeah, it's not often that you get to see pretty much having everything you possibly could want in order to complete Eastern Palace. You have the lamps, you do dark runes, so everything is considered to be in logic. You have silvers for armors. I guess the only thing you can probably ask for is boots, so you can at least dash through some hallways here. But I mean, this is about as convenient as you're going to get.
Yeah, you're right. This is a bit of a walk, but outside of that, it's not really that much of an issue for these guys. As Zelga just is gonna, just saunter his way right back to the Armos Knights there, pop 6 arrows into them, and see what exactly pops down. So get your guesses here. What do you think? It's going to be crystal, or you think this is going to be pendant? My guess is it's a pendant, because this is just far too easy.
Well, so, according to our great trackers and tstew having visited the bomb shop, we do know that Eastern is a 5-6.
Oh, right. I should pay attention.
No, but it's fairly was a fairly funny thing. We were, at least we do see a guest in chat. We know it's at least red. But at least your question here has spurred some answers in chat. You might be able to see who your friends are and who agrees with you, who doesn't.
Well, that's a hook shot there dropping down. So we're going to be able to check out Hookshot Cave here in just a second. So what does Zelga need for go mode at this point, honestly?
Yeah, 40 minutes in, we're talking about what Zelga needs for go mode. Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of an unfortunate placement of items in terms of tstew's perspective, right? He certainly doesn't know that the Eastern Palace Big Key is, just a couple more entrances, further on his road. And at least he got silvers out of. Oh no, he couldn't even get silvers out of because he didn't have the big key. Sorry. But when he does go back to this tournament, he'll have some goodies at least to show for it.
I mean, it's an unfortunate thing for tstew. I mean, he's gonna lose. He's got no way around it. He's just gonna lose basically 2 minutes to Zelga right there. That's pretty much what it is. But in Crosskeys, a decision like that can be easily made up by Zelga doing any number of other things, like, or tstew doing just a slightly better check at some point. That, like, there's any number of things. Like, it's bad, but it's not devastating.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we also have however many more ice rods we need to find, such as I don't believe we've seen any Castle Tower small keys yet.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it comes down to at this point, because we are, unfortunately, for those of you who are just joining us, that our Ganon today is behind 2 Castle Tower small keys. So the fun is just starting, because that's the other thing, we haven't found Pearl yet. So we're 42 minutes in, no Pearl. All good and fun things around here.
It just means we get to see more Blue Badger and Bunny shenanigans from these runners.
Definitely. Here, as we've found a connector here, basically the Turtle Rock fairy drop connector. Zelga's just saying, yeah, sure, why not? This one works.
I don't know is that intentional, because once you drop down, you are a Super Bunny, so you can actually pick up a pot and throw it just as Zelda did. I assume this is not considered to be in logic.
It's not considered to be in logic, but I mean, at the same time, it's typically a pretty good decision to make. Just because it's so hard to tell right now what the good decision is. I mean, but it's not in logic. That's the biggest thing we can say. But,
all right, that definitely sounds good. Yeah, I thought no Super Bunny shenanigans were considered to be in logic.
I mean, Bunny Walk is in shenanigans, and there's tstew's angry slashes there when he picks up the big key to Eastern Palace there. He's probably going to end up going right back there in just a second. So,
That's really, that is the hope for tstew. If he doesn't end up going back, it could actually cost him quite some more time.
Yeah, it turns out when you find out that hookshot drops down off of your Eastern Palace boss there, you really want him to go immediately back there. It looks like that's probably where he's headed. Yeah, this is an Eastern Palace play, and I think that was I'm looking at my tracker accidental jump down.
That's, I mean, assuming that he does go back for Eastern Palace, that is will be very good news for tstew.
And it looks like, I'm guessing Zelga's going to go check this other Desert Palace connector here, because he checked the one on the right, but the one on the left is still a mystery at this point. So we're gonna, yeah, this is exactly where he's headed here. As tstew, yep, is gonna do the happy thing here about getting his silvers, his 5/6 crystal, and a hookshot, which I'm not sure which one of those is the best thing at this point, because all of those are really good.
If you had to make me pick, I would probably pick hookshot. It's just because I think if hookshot wasn't here and he ended up skipping this, it probably would not have been as devastating as if he has skipped this and hookshot was here.
Oh man, so those Desert Palace entrances are not the most exciting ones, as we're up on the dark, what was I going to say, the dark lumberjack area there, and we're going to use our gloves here in the light world to check out what was hiding in the dark Death Mountain climb cave. Nothing there. And well, yeah, at 45 minutes in, yeah, with a super early mirror, there's a good chance that our Pearl is going to be locked behind some bunny walk shenanigans. So yeah, Zelga's going to be doing a little bit of fun things here.
You know, at least they have blue mail while traversing the dark world here.
Yeah, I mean, that's good.
It's better than green mail. You know, these things, dark world enemies hurt quite a bit, especially that Hinox. I'm pretty sure he would have just one-shot his Zelda.
Yep. Well, with blue mail, actually, I don't know.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I meant if he didn't have blue mail, he would have one-shot his Zelda.
Zelga getting that very, very necessary compass to Ice Palace.
I assume that was a blind check. This is Zelda's first time in this area on the Light World.
Oh yeah, that must have been blind there. That's just one of those things that you go, you know, it's probably faster to just go ahead and do this. I'm going to do... come on, a compass?
Yeah, I at least feel, you know, there is some upside. I'm not sure for the silver lining. Oh, yeah, Zelda, please be careful. And that, you know, at least no Pearl means they can't really do much overworld, which is funny shenanigans. So at least even if they had the boots, they really couldn't put it to good use in the dark world.
All right, now Zelga's going to go ahead and, yep, he got it. Okay, so he's going to go ahead and Super Bunny into the Tower of Hera here, check this chest, gonna basically do the dungeon revive glitch here, and that's going to give him the ability to just go ahead and clear Hera. That's really, really good on his side here, as tstew has just decided, you know what, he took the right connector out of Desert Palace there, and he's going to go ahead and pop his way into basically the race game entrance here. This is one that I agree with him. I'm very suspicious of this as well, but we'll see if this is actually useful. Oh my god, you know what? tstew doesn't have the Desert Palace big key, so he's missed out Samaria, so he can't get any of those early 3 chests.
Yeah, I'm trying to actually remember which actual location Desert Palace Big Key was. I know it was in, I think it was the K45 pickup, but I don't quite remember where that was.
Yeah, no, I Cave 45. I want to say was the Hera big key, but Dark Cross, right? Thank you there, Lynn.
Yes.
Yeah, that was one of those things tstew decided not to do immediately because at the time he was, green mail, 3 hearts, and it wasn't in logic, so I forget it. But kind of that's punishing a bit.
Yeah, and I think he didn't have Visit GT yet, so he didn't have a sword either, so he just had some bombs, which is pretty inconvenient to do Dark Cross at that point.
Well, there goes Trolldorm down over on Zelga's side, picks up another big key, this time to Dark Palace. So that's Palace of Darkness right there, and that's crystal number 2 already on Zelga's side here, so he's motoring along very quickly so far.
Yeah, speaking of just fortunate item, sequencing for Zelda, right? He, was able to, kind of do all this dungeon. He picked up the hook shot right before this, and he picked up the Hera big key, so he didn't have to isolate anything outside of the Hera basement.
So, Kane, unfortunately for tstew, is sitting on the right side of Desert Palace, and then the key to the right side of Desert Palace is hiding in the Desert Palace big chest because this game is silly. But tstew's going to give us our first look over here at Hookshot Cave. So we've got 4 chests here. This could change things in an instant for tstew. I mean, Zelga's not going to put this off for too long, but if tstew can get a bit of advantage here, this might help him out. Because Zelga's starting to put together a lead. There's our Pearl. And our Titan's Myth. Okay, so we've got now at least some Dark World access.
Yeah, we can also check the Vanilla Ice Palace location. Having cliffs and the myths.
Yeah, we could also, if the runners were interested, they could open up the entrance to Turtle Rock if they want to make that a quick jumping around, but I'm probably not going to do that since they already know that that's just a connector back down to Mini Moldarm Cave. Oh, the decision of what to do when you find the front of Super Bunny Cave there. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Fire Rod and Cane in Hand. Zelda can clear out he can clear out the rest, I think, of Turtle Rock outside the boss.
Oh, yeah, tstew probably making a good decision there because while he found the Super Bunny cave there, instead he decided to pass it up for just a second. Check the other connector right. Check the other entrance right there. That's a Paradox Cave, which is very nice. So 2 bottles in Turtle Rock right now and a key to Ganon's Tower.
Oh, all right. tstew certainly has a very nice pickup here. Finding the hammer, absolutely required. And his first bottle.
Alright, now I gotta remember where the heck they stuck Sick Kid. I want to say he was
in the tavern of Kakariko.
Right.
Slightly south.
Well, I mean, Zelga's not going to be missing that hammer or that pearl for, he might miss that hammer here, depending on what exactly the connectors are for Paradox Cave here, because if all 3 of them are in the Dark World, he won't be able to get it until he gets the pearl. Now, I mean, the moment he gets the pearl, he'll turn around and go directly back to Paradox Cave, but he's on his way over there. tstew's gonna kind of give us a little bit of a look here, because it looks like he's going to jump back in and see where those connectors go to. Or not. Okay, never mind. Got other places to go. Kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, he, as you said, with the pearl and with a lot more, freedom with that mirror, he has a lot of decisions that he can make, and hopefully he'll make ones that will lead him to the most value.
Yeah.
Kind of also like Zelda, right? I mean, so I know that, you know, like tstew, as we saw, he kind of decided to skip out on Super Bunny Cave because he did not come up the right entrance and tried to do Paradox Cave instead. I mean, there are certainly decision points for Zelda here as well.
It's one of those things where you can just kind of throw the routing decisions that you make in a Cross Keys match can kind of decide whether or not you're going to finish this in around like 2 hours or less, or you can pull this into just an absolute monster of a seed there. It's you never really know exactly what's going to happen there as as Zelda picks up all of his goodies out of Hookshot Cave, and now man, the world is open to both of these runners here, so we're going to have to see exactly what they want to do next.
Alright, looks like tstew has decided to go to Tower of Hera, doing this with a full logical implications in that he can actually access this. No more super butting into Hera, as we saw in Zelda sided and Death Reviving.
Well, it might not be Disneyland, but I mean, it looks like Zelga's going to, on the other hand, it's going to get over here to the Dark Shopping Mall area. 3 more connectors that he hasn't found, and I don't know if Zelda came down here the first time in Light World, so this might actually give him, he might have 6 connectors down, 6 entrances over here for him to go ahead and investigate.
You are correct in that this is Zelda's first time over here. Because so tstew had visited Ice Rock Cave area earlier, did not have the glove, so we only got to see 2 entrances, and then when Zelda picked up his glove, we said that, well, when he comes back, we'll be able to see that 3rd entrance, and then, well, here we are in the Dark Mode version. tstew doing a very nice Hera pop for us.
Ooh, mini Moldorm Cave over here on Zelga's side. That's a nice one to find.
Assuming this last Moldorm wants to cooperate.
Well, we got 5.
Yeah, meanwhile, we have a big Moldorm here on tstew's side. Hopefully won't give him gave him as much trouble as the small ones did.
Well, that mini Moldorm Cave didn't really have much outside of Red Mail. I mean, Red Mail's nice. You enjoy it now that you've got the mirror and you don't have to worry about death warps anymore. So, you know, good thing there. Ooh, tstew being a bit aggressive there and just jumping straight into Moldorm and almost getting knocked down the center hole, which would have been disastrous, but instead getting knocked down the side, which, you know, not great.
Alright, 3rd time's charm for tstew. I can feel it. That was scary. Alright, Zelda, yeah, picking up, it looks like Cane of Verna and another heart piece out of, I think this is the entrance that tstew wasn't able to get. Yeah, under the rock. Certainly no loss for tstew at the moment.
Alright, now both of our runners are sitting there with 2 crystals completed. As Zelda now has all the information that tstew had, but we still don't have we have the ability to clear Skullwoods, but we still don't have a small key to actually be able to get to Mothula at the moment here. Zelda taking a quick second there to go, wait a minute, I should probably go up to Catfish.
Oh, this is actually good for, very efficient for Zelda. I think this is going to be our first Catfish check between these 2 runners. Oh no, but he'd already had done Zora and paid him off. Okay, so this at least is going to be a check that they can do. I initially thought they were going to combine this with Zora, but still, it's good to not have this isolated.
Oh, definitely here, as we're gonna run up there to Catfish, give him either a rock or a flower, depending on how generous Zelga's feeling, and see what he throws us.
Also, with that big key pickup to Pod from Moldorm and Tower of Hera, tstew now has a good amount of equipment that he can actually do and make his way into Palace of Darkness. Having the hammer, having silvers, having the big key, and looks like, according to our tracker, 3 small hotkeys.
Well, we got ourselves a map to Ice Palace. Well, I mean that's good. You like to know that. I mean, tstew could actually, if he wants to, could go back and clear Ice Palace right now. Unfortunately, Zelda hasn't gone to Paradox Cave yet, so he's missing that. He's instead going to jump down this Spectacle Rock connector here, as tstew is playing the Skull Woods guessing game here to try to find out exactly which entrances are the ones he needs.
Yeah, also really unfortunate on tstew's side that he does not have the cane. That was, kind of sitting there on Desert Right. This cane would have made up this room a lot easier. But of course, tstew, shows us just how easy this room could be without any real issues.
Okay.
Yeah, and he does pick up the small key to Hyrule Castle, which, as we know from that holds the Desert Palace big key, which leads to Kane. So hopefully that's a good reminder of him. He can go back to Dark Cross.
Yeah, and what even kind of a little bit more interesting to me is that puts your GT big key into logic.
That's true, because we did find GT big key in it wasn't Zelda. It wasn't Zelda's cell. It was I think the boomerang chest. Is that what it was?
Yeah, the boomerang chest. Yeah, right before it though. tstew finding the other side of the Spectacle Rock connector, and he's going to go ahead and jump down this. I didn't actually see where this spit us out, but it must have spit us out somewhere nice in this area here. So, because Zelda somehow magically ended up back in Paradox Cave very quickly without me paying too close attention. He's going to be very excited to see his hammer in here. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think one of the connectors was Swamp Palace entrance. So Zelda must have just walked all the way over.
Yeah, he came out of the Dark Bonk Rocks there and jumped, just went directly down there. That's why he kind of got that fun decision to whether or not to go into Super Bunny Cave, which we'll now get to see over on tstew's side.
tstew showing us a really nice execution through the front of Super Bunny, coupled with a quick swap. I mean, to be able to use hookshot and then immediately mirror out is just really polished and smooth.
Oh, good old quick swap. God, that's my favorite thing about Crosskeys.
I'm glad we're on the same team as Team Quick Swap Days Cloud.
I mean, if you play with quick swap, you understand. It's really what it comes down to. You understand why it's so good. All right, oh god. Okay, I'm trying to remember what it's called. The Southwest Foothills Dark Descent Cave.
Yes, the longest name I believe in the entrance list of hints.
Dang it, I got it wrong again. Southwest Dark Death Mountain.
Foothills, that's
Foothills
right.
Cave. Darn it. I keep getting that in the wrong order there, but yeah, completely useless today. Alright, ended up back in Mimic Cave over there on Zelga's side. Turns out that's nothing of interest. There's just a red rupee, but that's one thing off the list of things we need to recheck, as tstew's still picking up his way through this. Picks up his 4th pod key. He's going to pick up just one additional Skull Woods key to hopefully just be able to go back and kill Mothula whenever he feels like it.
Yeah, we have found so many small keys, and yet no castle tower small keys in sight.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate there.
We need like a dowsing rod for castle tower keys.
Well, because I'm sitting here and I'm looking over things. We don't... Like I'm looking over things and I'm trying to figure out exactly where could our castle tower keys be, and I'm coming up with it. They've got to be in dungeons because there's not a whole lot else that we're missing at the moment, as far as like overworld-ish single item cave checks.
So, we did actually just see Zelda showing us the easy way to do that room with Venus Mario. But I was actually going to ask, so I don't actually recall if either runner has found the dam.
No, we haven't found that yet. We found ourselves the Swamp Palace Big Key. Haven't found the dam yet. Haven't found the Swamp Palace Small Key either. So we're still kind of trying to figure out exactly where we want to go with all of this stuff.
I'm going to get us a pedestal check.
Oh yeah, both runners have found Swamp. Swamp's easy. It's basically the Light World hype cave, and Ped is very, very dead.
Maybe Zelda is interested in getting his 7 bombs to 10 bombs.
Well, I mean, if you're
yes.
very, very desperate for bombs, yeah, sure, why not? Okay, now this is great for tstew over on his side because he's about to pick up his Desert Palace Big Key, which hopefully sooner than later will lead him back to Desert.
Yeah, and he has not visited Sahashala yet, I think, so he doesn't have knowledge that Desert is a green pendant. So, maybe sometimes in this case, ignorance is bliss, right? If it was a green pendant, maybe he would be less inclined to kind of go back and visit.
See, the problem with it is that it's not even... It's one of those things where that, in your mind, you have to try to remind yourself that you have the Desert Palace Big Key, and you can, when you end up walking by Desert, that you can actually go in and get the Desert Palace Big Chest. Because I can't tell you the amount of times that I've just kind of randomly forgotten that the Desert Palace Big Chest was a thing, because I get that big key and I'm like, sweet, I can go clear Desert, and completely forget that the Desert Palace Big Key is something I need. But,
We'll channel our inner, Desert Palace Big Key vibes to tstew. Hopefully he will go back for that.
Well, Zelda has now picked up all of his stuff out of Skull Woods there, including a Skull Woods key to be able to get his items, and now we can actually figure out what the heck is on Stumpy and the dig game here.
This is about the time where I would really like to see our runners pick up boots relatively soon. I would have said that 15 minutes ago as well, but I think that's also about they pulled up the pearl.
I mean, oh my god, that's awful.
Hopefully, you would hope that it would have been fewer digs to kind of get that news out from the digging, but at least you want to do it once.
I mean, that's just the game saying, I don't like you, and please go away.
Actually, with his hammer in tow and hookshot, tstew can make a little bit of progress here in Ganon Tower.
Yeah, the thing is he can't really go he can get a bit.
But this is 4 more checks, 5 more checks if he wants to spend a key. And it doesn't have the cane still, so he can't actually do tile room.
Yeah, that cane is just gonna eat at him a little bit there because he can't go to the right side. But like this one key here, as long as he doesn't open the map chest, he can get a bit of a distance into Ganon's tower here. But Zelda, on the other hand, has made his way over to picks up a small key to Tower of Hera out of Sasharalla's closet here as tstew, be careful. Ooh, that was an interesting method to do that room.
Yeah, I guess that's, normally we, everyone tends to, kind of dismiss boomerangs, right? But, having boomerang really can affect how you do that room.
Yeah, I feel like there was a decent chance he could have gotten himself kind of just not locked, but he would have had to waste a whole bunch more bombs and more importantly, waste a little bit more time trying to do that room. It was kind of it looked nice, but ooh man, it looked also dangerous. As we get into Rando room here, and we're gonna grab a big key to Misery Mire, so that's paying off for him. Small key to Swamp, which is, oh my god, Rando room is stacked.
And a big key to Thieves Town. These runners have not found Thieves Town either, correct?
Yeah, no Thieves Town yet, but like looking through this, we're missing a big key to Turtle Rock, but we don't even know if we need that right now. I mean, that was basically 3 big keys there because Swamp Palace Small is effectively the big key to the dungeon.
Yeah, all these runners have to do now is find the dam. And they have pretty much everything they need to do Swamp Palace. Unfortunately, it doesn't even look like, looking at both runners' trackers, we have full crystal and pendant knowledge. Whoa. Wow. tstew made a really good decision coming back here into GT, picking up Tempered Sword. Oh, that was such a really nice damage boost there off the mini Helmosaur. I remember seeing video and clips of that, but it's always really cool to see it done live.
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, that shouldn't work. You're kind of trying to, it doesn't seem like it should work, but man, it looks nice. tstew, that was an amazing Armos Knight's kill there. Ended up right in front of the door with the ice physics, and man, that's a happy kill right there.
Yeah, everyone, tends to kind of write off Armos kills, like, oh, of course you have the silvers. Doing Arsenals, even with silvers, is something that's not trivial. As we see on tstew's side.
Yeah, and so that tells us that we had a Misery Mire there as a pendant, and man, that was a Swamp as a crystal there. So, unfortunately, that does mean that Misery Mire find was not really the Misery Mire big key find, not super useful, as Zelga's gone ahead and use this block here to avoid some of these tiles. I'm not sure how useful it is, but it's fun to do. I don't think it saves any time, but I mean, I do it too, so.
I actually kind of felt like, after doing so many tile rooms that you kind of, tend to get more creative about how you kind of pass the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's all fun in games until you do something like use the boomerang and accidentally get caught by the hand because you were showing off a little bit too much. So Zelga's now gonna be rewarded with the flute, which is that you pair the flute with the mitts, and all we need is basically the boots, and we've got a complete and total access to every entrance in the game almost.
Yeah, we have not actually found any connectors over to the Misery Mire location, and between these two runners in terms of coverage, right? They've pretty much covered the rest of the world outside of that area, and we still have not found a couple dungeons. So I mean that flute can certainly open up quite a bit in terms of where they need to go.
Yeah, let's just add another thing to just tstew being punished, or Zelga routing this exactly the right way. I don't know which way you wanna consider it there, but man, things are really coming up in Zelga's favor right now.
Yeah, Zelda also ended up making some other decision points earlier on, right? So Zelda chose not to dip Ice Palace early. tstew ended up doing that, and I don't believe there was anything substantial out of the first dip. And in this case, Zelda, managed to not also dip Eastern. So, and then until he had the big key, which was just happened to be a couple entrances over. So, he ended up kind of saving some time over tstew as well.
As we're going to drop into our Mothula fight over on T-Stew's side here. It's got a tempered sword, so I don't believe Mothula is going to be with us for too much longer. I was right.
Yeah, I'm glad that you had enough time to finish your sentence. It's fine.
Yeah, I was actually a little nervous about that. As that's going to be crystal. That's going to be our second 5/6 crystal here. So we've now got the big bomb access on T-Stew's side, as Zelda picks up all of his super great keys out of the rando room.
Yeah, another kind of unfortunate circumstance for tstew that he, because the flute was in right side GT and was only accessible by the King of Samara, which tstew still hasn't quite picked up. He can't also get to the bomb shop that conveniently. No boots, no flute. We'll have to kind of just like walk all the way over there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Man, there's just so much that's kind of hurting T-Stew right now. It's unfortunate to see at this point. I mean, Zelga's not got an insurmountable lead by any stretch of the imagination. Not while we've got those 2 castle tower keys still hiding wherever they are in Hyrule. But yeah, we'll have to see. Zelda.
Yeah.
Go.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that it was just. It's just that like, as you said, the Castle Tower small keys really just can't be anywhere, and these keys actually could be quite equalizing. The Crosskeys match from yesterday, P-Train versus Hitsu. Hitsu actually had quite a substantial lead over P-Train, and unfortunately they had both looking for Big Key to Thieves Town as their go mode, and Hitsu ended up taking, unfortunately, a little bit more time than P-Train did. And, it was swung back in P-Train's favor.
That's Crosskeys in a nutshell for you. You get down to your final check, and somebody's going to get it right, and somebody's not. And that's really all it comes down to, is we need to kind of pay attention to how many GT keys we start to get here. As I think that's I'm not sure if that's T-Stew's first, or I want to say that's his first GT key out in the world there. As, oh my god, Thieves Town is just sitting right there. Nobody's been there yet.
I missed what entrance location that was?
It's right outside the desert.
Oh! You're right. No one has actually gone over to that area, and in fact, the entire desert area has been unexplored so far. T-Stew will surely clear out this entire area.
Man, that is kind of funny there. It's actually a good thing, because now T-Stew gets to do this in a single trip, which is just, the way exactly you want to do this.
So was this under the rock, or was this just a cave?
Just a cave.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. So this was super accessible. So wouldn't it be funny, or at least amusing, if the boots were here?
Well, we'll find out in just a couple of seconds here. At least not in the front. So if it's in the back, then both of these runners have made exactly the right decision by not coming down here. To be fair, they've had so much open to them that I can completely see why he would kind of not end up here.
Oh yeah, it's totally understandable, and certainly, as you said, there was nothing really as of use in the front four. I would certainly think that these runners wouldn't feel very good, right? If there was actually something useful, and they didn't visit this area, the Sphere Zero area, essentially, until an hour and 15 minutes in.
Yeah, it's so hard to kind of keep track of what exactly a Sphere Zero location is in Crosskeys. Just because it's like, this has been open to me since the entire beginning of the game. And when did I check it? Almost 2 hours in. Okay, I have made a mistake.
Zelda, with his similar damage output to T-Stew, is also going to just take on Moth here. I believe he has probably a little bit more health than T-Stew had going into the fight, but surely I don't imagine this being an issue.
Yep, and well, if you liked saying goodbye to Mothula the first time, get ready to say goodbye to him again, because Zelga's walking in with red mail and a tempered sword. So there's one. That's probably not one. as for anybody who's never, oh god, he got somehow all of those counted. 4 swings with the tempered sword and down goes Mothula.
Yeah, sometimes, when Mothula gets knocked up, that at least with that audio, it's sometimes hard for me to tell visually whether or not the hit actually get hurt or not.
Well, because you always get the cue that you've at least hit Mothula. Now, whether or not the damage counted is kind of up to the game, and that's part of the fun of Mothula.
Fun? Okay, got it.
There's nothing worse than fighting Mothula with a hammer and knocking him down into spikes, and the game just going, no, that one doesn't count. And there is probably, I'm gonna see here, I think that's the big key to Turtle Rock sitting there on the ledge to on the desert ledge, because I'm trying to think of any big, well, that could be the Skull Woods big key, I guess, as well.
As we're gonna try and leave blind up here for tstew, I don't believe there's actually anything of value in the back of East Town as well.
Well, he's gonna get a lovely pendant out of it, so that turns out all of that massive rando room is not actually too exciting, because that's just gonna give you both of the pendant crystals. Pendant crystals. Pendant dungeons. Sorry, I'm still trying to wake up here.
Oh, no, you're doing great.
Not enough coffee in the world sometimes, I swear.
Yeah, Crosskeys does not make things easy for you in terms of trying to keep track of where everything is.
As Blind has a small key to Castle Tower, so that is 100% necessary. And tstew almost saving and quitting and then going, you know what, I'll grab this anyway. I don't think tstew did a ped check, so yeah, gonna want to get that just in case.
Alright, so at least we found out that one of our pendant dungeons is absolutely required, as we said, because that small key to Castle Tower is 100% required, and it was on the boss. tstew is going to maybe hope for double his luck here, and maybe the other Castle Tower small key will be on Vitreous. Wouldn't that be fun?
Well, it would be, except tstew still doesn't have that cane.
Oh no, you're right. Let's backtrack our definition of fun here.
Yeah, and tstew's side, you're kind of hoping that the big chest, well, not the big chest, but that Vidi doesn't have anything. So I don't know. We'll see though. Zelga's making his way through the mire area, finding all sorts of goodies here. It's going to open up the main mire entrance as tstew gets pod key number 5, even though he unfortunately doesn't know where pod is.
Yeah, is that the last dungeon that's eluding our runners today?
Well, I mean, unless you want to count Desert Palace back, yes.
Oh, yes, that's right. Desert is split. But so Desert is the green pendant, which we know from Zelga's side. Yeah, it's a good question of whether or not that's going to have a progression.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 items, but we don't know if those are 2 items that we need. I mean, we're still missing the dam. So we don't know yet. Well, as we're about to watch Zelga make his way through the spiral cave, and as tstew is doing the super fun mire cutscene chest here, just give you a quick chance. Go ahead, make sure to give these guys give both of these runners a follow, as tstew just picks up a map to Thieves Town. Oh, thank you. And because both of these guys are 2 of the top runners in this game, you don't get to the 8th round of the losers bracket here. I mean, both of these guys are very close to the end of this tournament, so make sure to give them a follow there. Make sure to give both of our trackers a big shout out there to Be Liberal there and Siriu as helping getting everything set up there, making sure that we know exactly what both of these guys has. Also, big shout outs to Norinato doing the restream today. Clear Mouse, thank you for joining me on commentary.
Oh, and likewise yourself, please give Dave's Pod a follow, and you get to hear more of his very pleasant voice when he's streaming.
All right, tstew making his way through Mire, and have you seen anything of interest in this dungeon?
I don't think this actually counts as interest, but he did pull out a third bottle out of the Misery Mire big chest. That is probably the most interesting thing that we've seen so far.
Well, there's a third Mire key. Hooray!
I guess that puts the trios in logic.
Well, here's the more pressing thing. Zelda has wandered into Pod.
I unfortunately missed where Pod is. Was this under the rock?
I unfortunately was paying attention to tstew as well, so I didn't quite see it. East Death Mountain. East Dark Death Mountain. Okay, so that explains where that is then. Bottom right. Got it. Thank you there, beloved. And yep, that's gonna give him probably 13 chests here. Okay, never mind. There's a small key to Pod in Pod. He can clear every single thing now.
Isn't it always nice to find a small key to Pod in Pod? You know, when you're trying to decide whether or not you want to dive Pod or not,
just
given the number of keys you have.
If the decision is whether or not I should dive Pod or because I don't have enough keys, just dive Pod. Pod is going to have a key in there.
Key or two, right?
It almost, yeah, I mean, shoot, I've seen 2 or 3 in here before. 3 is a bad time, but yeah, because a lot of times you will try to put it off unless you have, because most of the chests back here are all of the chests in back are locked behind either 4 pod keys or 6 pod keys. In this case, now we know that all of the pod keys are very, very, very available here, as Zelda is having fun with bombs here, and it's going to get himself across there. The pod big chest just having a piece of heart, as if you're on tstew's side, you really want him to get back to a desert connector sometime soon. Unfortunately, none of them are near.
I'm also trying to think at this point what tstew has covered that Zelda has not.
I'm kind of wondering where tstew is headed, because he just walked by Swamp, and he can full clear that dungeon, and there's a full 10 items in there, and he just walked right by it.
Oh yeah, you actually did make a good plan. It looks like he's headed to not Dark Shopping Mall, because he would have popped right out.
Yeah, right. The dam has not been found, so ignore me, please. tstew can do a whole lot of nothing in Swamp, so he's making the good play. This is why he's still in the tournament, and I'm sitting here talking.
Alright, hopefully with, I assume, this actually looked like pretty good pod routing, actually, on Zelda's side. Checked the entire back, checked the front, and now he's going to check the Roblox side. And then he is going to, end up right in the location where he gets to go fight Zelda.
Right, and see, at this point, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to figure out where the heck is this dam going to be, because we don't really have that many locations left. I'm looking suspiciously at the Ice Palace entrance, as we pick up a butter sword.
Yes, that is certainly a location that has been open to these guys ever since they picked up the hook shot, I think. And did hook shot cave.
And I mean, the other one that I would kind of look at is hammer pegs, and probably get very suspicious about the big bomb, the pyramid fairy entrance there, because that's very much in, I want to say it's in logic, at least on Zelga's side it's in logic. tstew is basically in logic because, I mean, who cares after a point?
I'm sure at this point, anything that he can actually have readily access available or current access available to, he's just going to go do.
And yeah, Nori bringing up a really good point there that it could very much be behind Boots, which we have not found yet.
We know that Boots is required. So I guess I have not kept track of how many small keys to GT they have, but they do have upstairs GT available to them, correct?
Well, they have exactly 2 chests right now in logic of upstairs GT. So I don't know.
There's really not a lot of great options for these runners. I mean, at least for Team tstew, though, like we really want him to go back to Desert Main. How many items? I think there were 3 items there, 3 checks that he can make.
In Desert Main, yeah, and one of them locks the other 2 items.
Yeah.
As Helmasaur's now exploded over on Zelga's side, so that's going to be crystal number 4 for him. And we got a graveyard. Oh, so we got the graveyard ledge checks right here, which would be a lot more interesting at the beginning of the game when you're looking for bombs, but as it is now, a piece of heart's not going to be something Zelga's stopping for.
You know, Zelda didn't stop for that piece of heart when he was on 3 hearts near the pyramid, so I certainly cannot imagine him picking up that heart piece when he has 14 hearts in Red Veil.
I mean, I want to say that the match that Zelda eliminated me on, he did something like the GT climb with green mail, and I want to say something like 5 hearts or something ridiculous like that. So there's not a whole lot of things. Hearts aren't really an issue for Zelda. All right, now here's
heartless, though.
Oh, very much not. So we got here's an interesting check over on tstew's side. This is going to be a fat lot of nothing.
Didn't even need to buy a heart to refill everything.
Nah, he just walked right in and said, you know what, forget it, we're not doing it, and we're going to go into Ice Palace instead on tstew's side.
Meanwhile, Zelda is clearing out his dungeons. According to our trackers here, we know that Turtle Rock is a crystal, so Trident's is going to go down super fast. That Butter Sword probably helps things out a bit.
And man, Trinex barely even got to take a slight turn to the left there before Zelda killed him. That's about as good of a kill as you'll see there. And yep, that's crystal number 5 there. He'll probably, I wouldn't be surprised to see Zelda go immediately to Ice Palace there, because he knows where it is. So he'll probably come through in just a second, clear this out, and be down to crystal number 6. And at that point, I mean, Zelda is... We got to find the dam, and Zelda needs to find both of the castle tower keys, and we only know where one of them is right now. So it's not over quite yet, but man,
Zelda certainly has a lot of good things going for him at the moment. Yeah, and speaking of kind of doing Ice Palace the second time through, I mean, I certainly understand that this is a clearable crystal dungeon for tstew, so certainly he can have all the reason to come in here first, but we know where that Kingdom Samaria is, so unfortunately even this time around he can't do Icebreaker. Yeah,
that's kind of unfortunate. kind of unfortunate for T-Stew again, just because there's, man, that cane is holding him up so much, because that cane unlocks his flute, which locks a whole bunch of checks that he would like to make. That hammer locked his boots. And,
oh wow! Well, I'm sure T-Stew is at least happy to see boots. Hour and 30 in. Better to have boots now than later.
To be honest, though, I mean, I kind of feel like that's going to give the game to Zelda at this point, just because the boots are going to open up everything. At this point, outside of the second small tower, Hera, a second castle tower key being in some place dumb like Hera basement, it's going to be kind of hard, because it's kind of hard for T-Stew to get enough time back, because Zelga's just, I mean, Zelda, after he does this and finds basically Swamp Palace, he's probably going to end up full clearing Swamp Palace, probably getting his next castle tower key. And then immediately he'll pretty much have just pendant dungeons left. And the moment he goes to, Thieves Town, that's all she wrote. But I'm getting ahead of myself just a little bit there. Still lots of time left in the game.
Now, you do bring up a very interesting point, though, just in terms of what T-Stew now has available to him, right? We know that we need him to go back to Desert, but these boots, as he says, open up a lot more, potentially more interesting locations, because it's going to be logic. So it's certainly a good question when T-Stew will end up going back to Desert.
Hey, it's in such a bad location. That's the thing that concerns me about T-Stew, is that Desert's not, like, it's not a place that you want to go to. You're like, I don't have the Desert Palace small key. Why would I go back there for one chest? Because the Desert Palace small key is in the chest. You don't know that, though. You can't know that. That's Crosskeys in a nutshell. Sometimes you make the right plays and it's everything that you could possibly ask for, and then sometimes things like this happen. But as I say that, it does look like T-Stew is headed back up the mountain here, so there are desert entrances up here. Hopefully that's the play that he makes, but we'll find out pretty soon, I guess.
Well, Zelda here, remembering that I think he, for 2 keys to Ice Palace, he doesn't actually do the switch when he does Icebreaker. And now he's going to take down Cold Stare. He'll have magic for either runner, but Fire Rod, and he has Gold Sword. This should not be too much of an issue.
And down goes Cold Stare. That's crystal number 6 for Zelda here. And now we probably get to play the fun game of, okay, where is the dam? We need to find the dam.
We need to find the dam. And the chances are, right, given that we've already seen so many item locations, the second castle tower small key is probably somewhere in Swamp. Hopefully, it's somewhere in Swamp.
Yeah, I mean, that's my guess. Yeah, to answer a quick question in chat, you've got 2 choices there to open up Cold Stare's shell there. Technically the faster way to do it is the way that Zelda did with the Fire Rod, but a lot of runners will choose to use Bombos just because you end up getting the extra magic there, so just in case you happen to screw up the fight with Cold Stare there, you'll be able to go ahead and just take the Fire Rod out and finish it there. But yeah, if you want to use Bombos, that's completely fine. actually tend to favor it myself, just because I'm not as good as Zelda is.
Certainly, as you said, the more conservative approach to use bombos with for cold stare is certainly favored, especially also if you're on lower health and you want to, or lower damage output, like Master Sword or Fighter Sword or just a hammer, right? You can use Fire Rod shots later on for the fight as well.
Oh wait, I'm doing that wrong. Try again. trying to bet that the dam is on Pyramid Fairy here, because it's got to be. I mean, it's either that or it's going to be hiding over at King's Tomb. I'm trying to think of any other connectors here, and or any other entrances, and I don't know.
Have we checked all of the Bonk Rock, Dark and Light Bonk Rock locations? I know we got spit out of Dark Bonk Rocks. I don't remember a different Light one.
Yeah, I want to say we did get spit out a Light one, but I can't remember what it is. I've played so many seeds lately that I'm suffering from some major seed bleed.
No, it's totally understandable. I mean, you know, I sometimes you watch one seed, you could just forget what's going on.
All right, and that's Ganon's Tower Key number 2. So, all right, if you get up to 3, you might start seeing these runners going, oh, I guess I'll go climb that stinking tower. Now, Zelga's...
Tina, a little indecision dance, so tstew has still a little bit more time. Oh, I'm sure he was really happy to see back-to-back petted dungeons here.
Yeah, I mean, Zelga is gonna sit here. It's good that he found those, because he hadn't found them yet. But he's not gonna want to go in there until he finds the dam. So, because he has everything open. So, all right, I think we're gonna get to see King's Tomb here. So if your bet was King's Tomb here, you're going to find out real fast whether or not you were right, as tstew's making his way through Pod here. He's got it mostly complete. He's just, and yep, there it was. Darn it.
I'm going to give Zelda some grief here. Had a menu twice to get to mirror. One item transition per pause. Alright, we certainly know as commentators and viewers that we know that Zelda eventually does have to do Thieves Town and defeat Blind to get his second Castle Tower small key. So tstew still does have a little bit of time.
Alright, I guess the winner of our betting game there was our restreamer. It's kind of like she knows what was going to happen before it happened. But anyway, we're so
at all. No, of course not.
Oh wow, so there's your Castle Tower key right there.
That is certainly interesting. Is that so? Is all Zelda needs is the second Castle Tower small key, and he's in good mode?
Yeah, basically all he needs to do is go and beat Blind, and there's a very good chance that he'll do that immediately after this, because he's going to have a choice between finishing Mire or finishing Thieves Town probably next. So, like, Zelda, let's see here, I'm looking at the time, because he's going to full clear whichever dungeons he goes to, and he's still got to go do Agate Tower. He might pull this sub 2 still.
Depending on which pendant dungeon he chooses to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying there. There's a pretty, because I mean, Agate Tower, because he's going to be doing Agate Tower in Go mode, which doesn't really change too much. And that's going to be, yeah, it's just going to be so hard for him to kind of decide here. I mean, so both Thieves Town and Mire have 8 items. So tstew picks up his thing, and ooh, Zelda, you gambly man here, skipping left side swamp in a Crosskeys match. That has never hurt him in the past.
But perhaps that he knows that he's only one item away from Goma might influence his decision.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I'm saying that just because I can remember a very, very, very good example where I was playing a match with Zelda and both him and I skipped left side swamp, and that turned it into a long match. But yeah, he's making the right decision here. He's one item from Go mode. You're not going to typically mess around with left side swamp when there's that much available, and swamp is just right there.
That kind of contrast to what we had earlier in the sea, where everyone was kind of hurting for health. tstew actually just managed to do all the Spike Cave without any invincibility items. Super nice fight there from Zelda here, taking down Argus and picking up his last crystal.
Yep, and tstew on the other side, he looks like he's gonna probably make his way over to
is this gonna be a dam check? Or
yeah, he's gonna get his dam, but at the same time, this also means he's gonna go and full clear Swamp Palace, which is one step away from where his Samarian is. Now, he's not going to need the flutes, so that's one thing that's actually kind of good for him. And Zelda on the other side, he picks up a small key to Turtle Rock there, so that's key number 4. So, hey, congratulations, Trinex is now in Logic. He's already dead, but he's now in Logic. Oh, right, he does need the flute because, I mean, beating Turtle Rock is kind of hard if you don't have the big key.
It looks like Zelda has chosen Thief Stamp as his first pendant tip.
Yep, Zelda's going to sub to this. That answers that question.
Yeah, Butter Sword, Red Mail, Silvers. For Ganon, I don't really imagine this being too slow a fight.
To answer a question in chat, I kind of think you mean like logically the game kind of accounts for you being as new as possible to randomizers, so you're not going to be soft locking yourself in pretty much almost any situation. There is a very, very fringe situation where I think you can do it, but even then it's really hard to do. It revolves around pod small keys, but it's just kind of, yeah, the logic always kind of accounts for you using the keys in the worst possible way. The way I always kind of talk about it is imagine my 7-year-old daughter was going ahead and playing this for the first time and just kind of using keys like she didn't know what she was doing. The game accounts for that level of play. Well, we are just basically counting down the time here because Zelda doesn't know that he's made the exceptionally right choice and it was about to be in go mode here. tstew on the other side is going to let us see exactly what is on the right side here. Choosing not to do diver down here. Imagine this is one of those things where just the bomb setup is not the first one you learn a lot of times, so that might be the reason he's kind of going around.
Yeah, no, that's certainly reasonable. And unfortunately for tstew, given what we already kind of see on Zelda's side, I'm not sure how much more there can be on left side swap.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything over here that would make tstew happy. Yeah, this is unfortunately just one more of those things where, unfortunately, today he kind of took like he made one decision at the beginning of the game, probably within the first 10 minutes of the game, that unfortunately cost him the entire match. It's nothing he could have done. I mean, how was he to know at that point that he really needed to go to Dark Cross?
Yeah, and even after going to Dark Cross, which he eventually did and picked up the Desert Palace big key, given where Desert Palace was, and what other options he had available to him, right? It's just there was nothing really pulling him back there, right? It just happens to be that there was a very important item that was in Desert that was necessary.
All right, and as we're watching Zelda go ahead and take out his blind fight here, he's going to be super happy in about 10 seconds here as he finds out that he's in go mode and he's going to be fluting to 4 and climbing Agate Tower here. So to kind of continue, since we've got an additional question, yeah, key logic is a big part of running the randomizer, especially running any sort of key sanity. Now, if you're new to randomizer, don't start with key sanity.
That is a very good piece of advice.
Just don't. I mean, you'll hate yourself. Well, I mean, you might have fun, but at the same time, you'll spend a long time figuring out what to do there. Man, Butter Sword and Silvers. This is not going to take Zelda too long. Certain things with key sanity, like there's certain things that you might not even realize affect the logic. Like Pod is the biggest dungeon that that it really affects. But even small things like Hyrule Castle are really a thing here. Now, both of the runners ended up picking their GT big key out of a chest there, the boomerang chest in Escape, that is technically locked behind the Hyrule Castle small key. So if they had never found that, that would be their clue not to have climbed GT. Now, turns out, as you can see on Zelga's side, that was 100% not necessary.
Yeah, not necessary. Also, probably also saved them from making the decision for whether or not they just killed GT.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times runners will put that off until they have at least 3 GT keys, or maybe 4. It's because you're not supposed to be able to clear GT until you have all 4 GT keys. You can sequence break key sanity, yeah, totally, and that's what a lot of runners do. But it's you kind of have to know what you're, maybe not know what you're doing, but it helps to know what you're doing. As we're into our Aga fight, we got a couple of guesses in here in chat for how many blue balls Aga 1 is gonna shoot today.
Yeah, these guesses aren't very kind.
They don't want Zelda to sub to this, apparently. So there's 2 already.
Alright, looks like tstew, finishing up his side of Death Mountain, is trying to make a decision for where he goes next. Certainly hoping that it will be Desert.
Well, this Aga has definitely taken stalling classes here, because he's just prolonging the inevitable. There he goes, and he's dead. Oh man, and you know what? You know what's even funnier? How yet another way that this is just working out great for Zelda. Ganon is in the Hyrule Castle drop, so he's
Oh yeah, that's true.
just next door here.
Yeah, not only does he get a free health refill right after Act 2, he can just go get it right now.
Zelda, what are you doing? Zelda, what are you doing? Is that lumberjack? Right? No, never mind. I'm. That's called seed bleed. Yesterday, on the seed that I was playing, Ganon was at the Hyrule Castle drop.
Oh, Magic Bat, that's right, was today. And that's right, because we were saying that boots were required. We needed those boots.
Yeah.
Alright, well, he still gets a free health refill with 16 hearts, friend mail, gold sword. Won't even have to worry about the 1-1. He can just kind of slash his way through and not even worry about it.
Alright, so this is gonna not take very long here. And Zelda counted to 6 there, so he's just gonna sit there and watch Ganon try to hit him with fire bats and fail miserably. Now, for if you want to get to Lumberjack the fastest way, you actually, I mean, in this case, our tracker is kind of bringing up a good point here. He could have saved and quit to Sank, which is, at the Lost Woods, but if you do use the whirlpool down there down by the Ice Rod Cave, you will basically get up into Lumberjack the quickest as possible, and down goes Ganon that quickly before I can even finish my thought. And that's going to be a win for Zelda as soon as he crosses the line.
Yeah, GG's to Zelda, who is our Game 1 winner of this Losers Bracket Round 8.
And
finishing with official time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 30 seconds. He totally subbed to the seed, Days Cloud, as you predicted.
I mean, it came to a point where, like, when you're routing that well and things are just going to you and going to you and going to you, like, you're gonna sub to the seed. Like, I mean, it was great play combined with extremely efficient routing, and also primarily, but kind of going to Dark Cross just a little bit earlier or a little bit later than tstew did, so he actually had the materials needed to go. And we are now joined in the booth here by zelgadissan there. GG's there, bud.
GG's, Zelda.
GG's, thank you very much.
You routed the seed so well. Every single time you want to go to location, you had pretty much everything that you needed for it.
If they want to give me the items, I'll take the items.
I mean, I guess the biggest question I have is there any point that you actually felt like things were being a bit difficult?
I felt really awful about the boots. Because I almost did Ice Palace literally like 45 minutes earlier. So that made, and then finding the damn hard requiring the boots made me feel like there's a chance I'm behind. And especially when it comes down, for me at least, when it comes down to Castle Tower keys, you never really feel like you know exactly what's going on because they can be literally anywhere, even worse than an ice rod. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it turns out that you did basically everything right in this seed. Like the biggest thing is like I mentioned kind of there right before you came on there, you had found the Desert Palace Big out of Dark Cross, and that led you to your cane, which basically gave you everything you needed for the seed here. So that's kind of what tstew is missing right now. He didn't do Dark Cross his first time through, and then because Desert's in the location that it is, he just hasn't been back there yet because it's only a single location in his mind, which is just kind of the unfortunate thing for him.
Yeah, I hopped into the stream and I see that now. That is really unfortunate because even when I got the desert small from the desert big chest, it felt like that was kind of weird. Like, is this even key sanity? It's just a normal generic like bootlock torch or something. Like I was playing an open seed, getting the small key out of the big chest, but I don't fault the decision whatsoever. And I noticed no flute, but that was also on right side GT, which makes sense. So there's really no convenient way back to desert. I totally get it.
Yeah, that was kind of one of those things. It's like you hate to kind of see someone kind of unfortunately lose a seed within the first 10 minutes, but unfortunately he kind of lost the seed within the first 10 minutes through really no fault of his own. It just the rando gods really were not in his corner today. But I mean, not to discount not to discount what you did by any means. You just crushed the seed.
Thanks. Yeah, I felt pretty good about it for the most part. Like I said, finding the boots as late as I did was really the only thing that made me feel like I could significantly be behind. Even if it's just like one of those things where I'm doing everything, but I'm doing it slower because I didn't have boots. I could easily be losing this. So, yeah, I feel pretty good about this run overall. When I was looking for the last key, I guessed right and did Thieves Town instead of Meyer, which was really obnoxious finding those back to back, by the way.
Yeah, we witnessed that, yes. And we also saw your dance of the decision when you first found Thieves Town.
Yeah, it was kind of funny there.
Yeah, at that point, I knew I needed to find the dam, and then I was like, well, when I find the dam, I can just do Swamp, and that will be my first priority. So I didn't want to commit to the other pendants just yet, but then after Swamp, I honestly, I had a ton of great options. You could full clear Thieves, full clear Meyer, climb GT wasn't looking too bad. Yeah, so this was, I'm glad I found it when I did and not after 20 minutes of searching.
Yeah, it was kind of nice there, especially seeing, like, we were talking about it. It's just the moment that you found those, we were guessing that you weren't going to go in. But I one thing I will ask you, was there any hesitation about skipping left side Swamp today?
Not really. If I'm one item from go mode, I will typically skip left side Swamp. And it's actually already burned me in this tournament against Dataplet, but I ended up getting back there fast enough that I was still able to pull out the win. But it kind of is what it is. I feel like if I've got all those options, knowing I've got like 16 items in pendant dungeons, I'm gonna bank on those and the 2 in left side Swamp.
Well, it definitely was the right play today for sure. As we can see here, as unfortunately, just tstew is still working his way around here, trying to find exactly what one little thing did he miss, and he's gonna be. Man, I'm trying to figure out exactly like what connector or where exactly would he go to get himself to Desert Palace, and oh god, he's doing the climb.
Oh, well, you get to see some new content here, Zelda.
Yeah, I really debated hard about whether I wanted to climb whenever I was clearing out GT. I purposely skipped the map room just to make sure I would have enough keys to complete the climb if I did it. And then I just never actually got back to GT whatsoever. So if I hadn't got the flute, I probably would have climbed. But since it was so close to Kakariko, I was like, well, the flute gets me all the Meyer entrances. Let's go activate it and just do those instead.
Yeah, I guess I'm also curious. So one difference also that where you gained some time on tstew was he ended up dipping Eastern and Ice early, kind of without some necessary equipment. But once you found those dungeons, you chose to skip them. Any particular reason at the time?
I didn't go into Ice Palace because I didn't have the glove or the hammer, which I felt actually pretty bad about skipping after I thought about it. Like I'd already left, and then maybe a minute later, I looked at my inventory and said, I have every small key and the big key. I probably should have gone in here. But thankfully, it didn't end up burning me since the boots were hammer locked. And then Eastern, I was going to go into Eastern after I finished clearing out the mountain, and I just happened to find the Eastern big on the way. So It was one of those, just put it off a little bit, and that can be the end of my route, and save and quit out of Eastern. That was kind of the plan there.
Yeah, it was kind of when you found Eastern, I wasn't surprised that you had jumped out and just said, you know what, I'll let me go check these, because you had like 5 or 6 locations still on the mountain there. So I was thinking, there's probably a good chance you're just gonna come right back there in just a second. And man, sure enough, man, that Eastern Palace Big Key was just sitting right next to it, and stuff like that today just really made things work out pretty well for you.
Yeah, I will be the first to admit, I feel like I've gotten very lucky in this tournament. I am not typically, like, I have not played Crosskeys really ever before this year. So I feel like in terms of experience, I'm probably behind pretty much everybody in this tournament. So to be as far as I am, to be getting as successful as I am, I will be the first to admit there's been a lot of luck. And today showed it off as well, just like finding those keys like right next door to where I need them. And I already had the equipment. That's just kind of, I've been getting very lucky, and I don't ignore that whatsoever. I know that I have outlucked multiple opponents in this tournament.
I mean, you can say that, but you're also, known to be quite good at this game. So I don't think anyone's overly shocked that you're this far. But I mean, yeah, you're right. Luck does play a part in this, because I mean, ask all of the single digit seeds in this tournament how they're feeling right now. And they'd probably give you a pretty similar explanation there, I feel like.
Yeah, but how about that seeding in this tournament, man? What a fun meme that was.
Yeah, if you were seated in the top 10, just have a good day. We'll see you all, next tournament. Have a good year. But,
certainly, Zelda, though, you have proved that you are quite the Crosskeys runner. Certainly nice for this race, both in terms of running and execution. I don't really think there was a moment where... Oh, no, let me give you grief. I said this on stream, was when you finally found the dam, you needed 2 menu transitions to get to the mirror, to do mirrored block deletion from where you were.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I am willing to take that.
So you don't deserve to win Crosskeys anymore just because of that. All right.
That's fair. You gotta get that quick swap experience. I gotta step it up.
You got to get ready for the league and every other thing that we're about to do with quick swap here, which I for one am very excited about. How are you feeling about the quick swap change?
I'm a bit torn. Like I do enjoy quick swap. I also like menuing as a skill. So, I mean, there will be uses for both with quick swap. Like, there were times, once you get a full inventory, it's almost always going to be better to just menu. But I see positives and negatives. I'll be a lot happier about quick swap becoming the norm whenever bottles behave the same as other multi-spot items in your menu, like switching between mushroom and powder, or going through 4 bottles in quick swap just feels bad, man.
Yeah, and I think sometimes for quick swap, it kind of depends on how sensitive your L and R buttons are for controllers and such. Like luckily for me, I've got I play on an old PS2 controller, and so it's pretty quick for me because I can just double finger it and go pretty much around my entire inventory in about a second if I need to. But I think for other people, it might not be as easy. I don't know, but I hate menuing, so I'm very excited about quick swap.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be an interesting change, to say the least. It'll just be interesting to see, a lot of the NMG players are really good at menuing, how quickly they pick up quick swap. I'll be really interested to see that.
Well, we are still... Well, unfortunately, tstew is now going to go ahead and he's going to check every single chest that he's got remaining here. He's headed off to Skull Woods big chest there, picking up a big 300. At some point, he's going to end up at Desert Palace, and some point. I mean, if he's checking big chest, he's got to head up there eventually. It's just, it's not in a great location. So, yeah, I guess we can.
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
Oh no, that's all.
Oh no, I actually just one final question. Just quick. Do you guys have plans for Game 2, Zelda?
We have not officially scheduled anything. I know I at least said, hey, if you want to do it tomorrow, I can, but I don't know if we actually are. So, hey, Desert Palace.
All right, here he's gonna have to see exactly what his decision is if he feels like continuing after finding this red cane. But that might be the thing that just kind of gets him to say, you know what, I understand the rest of the seed, and I no longer wish to continue. Well, he's got his small key, and now he's going to run over to the right side of Desert Palace here. He's got to go open the vanilla big key chest in the dungeon, and he'll get the bad news that unfortunately this is what you had needed to do the entire time. Oh wait, no, I was wrong. Okay, it was the compass chest. To be fair, it was a while back since we were in here. All right, looks like tstew is going to keep going here. So, Zelga, I guess. Any final thoughts on this?
Not really. I just feel like I played pretty well, but again, I do fully understand the amount of luck that went into some of these item placements here. So, definitely GG's. This was a interesting race, and yeah. GG's to tstew.
Yeah, certainly looking forward to Game 2. Thank you for the cat fact, Zelda. Looking forward to cat fact in Game 2.
Okay, GG's Zelga. Looking forward to seeing your remaining matches, and I think we're going to be rating tstew to end things up because it looks like he's going to finish up, and it's going to be a little bit. I would like to thank my commentators, Days Cloud and Clear Mouse. Always a pleasure, and Blibberl and StereoX for doing tracking today. So with that, I think we're going to call it a night, and I think there might be another Crosskeys match tomorrow. The first match between Andy and Violet Pumpkin. So stay tuned for that. So, again, thanks everyone for joining us, and we hope to see you soon. Bye.